Hi, it's Ben Roberts with an invitation to be part of the weaving team that is emerging in the wake of the Bioregional Regeneration Summit that just concluded last week. And the purpose of this team is to help us activate a community of practice that clearly wants to happen based on all the energy that the summit stirred up and all the interest that we tapped into for bioregional regeneration. And one of the core jobs of that community practice is going to be to help convene the next summit, which we want to have happen in about 6 months' time. And along the way, between now and then, to also do all kinds of other things that are of value to them and our offerings to the wider field of bioregional regeneration. Things like how do we learn together what it means to do bioregioning, what different skills and practices and principles are for that, or how we move money together in different ways. So the invitation to be a weaver is really to help this community practice to form out of all of the energies and the possibilities that the summit has stirred up. And we've got a lot of different ways that you can do that and infrastructure in place to support it if you want to weave. And I think that the main thing is to think about, how does your work and what you're most interested in, what you're already doing or what you are planning to do, or what even you dream of doing, intersects with bioregional regeneration, and then do your weaving work as a way to activate that for yourself and for others, and see how it ripples out and what might happen. And maybe it's just some small connection you make, but maybe you're also going to tap into a much bigger field that can support you and that you can help to energize. So let me show you a little bit of the set of resources that we have available to help you make all this happen if you want to be a part of this team. Here's our networking map. And we got about 800 people to put themselves on the map. Those are mostly the orange circles, about almost 200 initiatives as partners. And then the people that said they were interested in being part of the weaving team, they're triangles on here scattered all throughout. So a bunch of them said, yes, I'm ready to weave. And some more just said, I'd like to know more. So we've got all kinds of potential right here, just among this particular group, to be connecting with around different things. And we also have a lot of data about the field as a whole and what people are interested in. We know something about what languages people want to speak. So all these different people have identified a language that they prefer other than English to have conversations in, or at least are interested in having conversations in. Even if they prefer English. Maybe English was on the list too. We have the different contexts for radical collaboration that the summit focused on, how bioregions can support one another, how funding innovation can happen at the bioregional scale, how global networks can collaborate with one another, and how we can support our own individual well-being and spiritual resilience as actors in the movement for bioregional regeneration. We've also got data on all the different roles people play within this. So got all these folks that gave us information about whether they're interested in the arts, for example. So you can see, just the folks who are interested in the arts and bioregional regeneration, and maybe in a context of supporting emotional resilience at the personal level. So you can tailor this to what your interests are, find other people that are interested in those two, maybe even see what organizations they're connected to in certain circumstances as well. And then here's another resource we have within here. People have told us that they have gifts to offer, or conversations they want to have, or resources. So you can click on different people and see, what's a conversation I want to have. How can activist, artistic, and spiritually oriented groups support and enhance one another's work, for example? Or you can see different resources, or people are showing up with gifts that they have to offer, and you can weave based on those. Here's someone offering communication skills, very straightforward and simple. Some of these are in Spanish too, so we're weaving in 2 different languages. This person bringing a human pollinator for flourishing life in the bioregion I'm dwelling upon, which looks like it's Colombia. So we can also be doing keyword searches, for example, based on different areas, or based on different domains, and get lists of people. Another piece of infrastructure we have is the calendar that we use to schedule the summit. We're still using to schedule additional calls. So we had a whole set of practices during the summit that were ways to engage as peers and explore opportunities for connecting and collaborating. So these included offers and requests, marketplaces, the 6 conversations process that we use for the radical networking sessions, kind of open freeform hangouts, open space conversations where you can initiate the conversation you want to have or move among the ones that others are offering, the regenerative constellation process, that's a different way of sensing into a system and what wants to happen within it. So we've got all these different opportunities for continuing to connect that are on the calendar starting Monday, November 17th and continuing all the way through to December 22nd. And if all this builds energy and gets good participation, I think we'll be able to support, continuing this into the new year as well. So we hope that as Weavers, you'll consider coming to some of these sessions as a way to resource yourselves and others. And then we're also hoping that you actually convene a lot of conversations using all that data that I was showing you on the map, that you find a sweet spot where you want to talk to at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 other people. And maybe as a group, you identify something you want to continue exploring, a possibility, an opportunity, a question. You can put that on the networking map now, and others can see that, and we can continue to connect around these different clusters of energy and interest. And then the last invitation that I have is to be part of the infrastructure that supports the weaving team, to work with me to manage the communications and create the ways that we can connect what comes out of our conversations through different harvesting tools, Miro boards or Google Forms, things like that, to just help this community, this team, become a core part of the community that's emerging as kind of a major organ within the entity, if you will. And I'm really excited, as you can tell from this possibility. I think we've got this very fertile soil laced with all of this mycelium and all kinds of resources out of which we can sprout a whole bunch of mushrooms, some of which could be a feast for you, as well as for the groups and the networks and the projects that you're inspired to serve. So come weave with us.